Is Man of Steel better than Superman? I don't know. Let's check it out.
Hi, I'm back. Please hold your applause. A couple of weeks ago,
Held.
I made a video reviewing the new 2025 Superman movie, giving my honest review as someone who knows basically nothing about that franchise.
Well, we can help him with that, can't we?
People had thoughts about my thoughts, and there were several requests for me to sit down and finally watch the 2013 Zack Snyder Superman movie, Man of Steel.
You should. If you've never seen Man of Steel, you should watch it. It's a good movie. If you have certain opinions about Superman that you can't let go of, maybe you won't like it. But if you can kind of be open-minded, it's good.
Given the online firestorm and seeming rivalry that exists in the fan base between loyalists to the former director and fans of this new version by James Gunn. The Snyderverse is it's like this whole thing, I know. Can't really tell you the first thing about it, other than the fact that it was canceled by DC for various reasons. I think The Rock had something to do with it? Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he did.
I might be one of the only YouTube movie dudes on the planet who will be watching these two flicks in reverse order. To be clear, I have never watched a single scene of Man of Steel. I had no clue about the story, the vibe.
Let me know in the comments if you watched James Gunn's Superman first before you watched Man of Steel, because he's right. That is very rare. Most people have seen Man of Steel first.
Or the general direction of Zack Snyder's creative vision. This has now changed because I just sat down and watched Man of Steel for the very first time last night, and today I am going to share with you my thoughts as to which Superman take I liked better.
All right, let's hear it.
Because you have a different opinion, you will yell at me about why I am wrong in the comments.
Feel free to yell at them in my comment section as well. And you can yell at me because I'll probably have my own opinions. So I really think that whenever people have never seen Man of Steel and I just want to hear what their opinion is, to be honest, because especially this late in the game, Man of Steel's old at this point.
So if you're like me, and you have been living under a rock, 2013's Man of Steel basically chronicles Superman's origin story, showing Clark Kent's alien birth on the dying planet Krypton, his upbringing on Earth, and his emergence as the Superman when a big baddie from his home planet
don't get me a copyright
arrives to
claim.
our world with a bone to pick. I'm not going to spend too long on the plot rundown. The movie has been out for 12 years at this point. I'm going to assume that most cats that are watching this have already seen it.
Yes, we have.
Many of you may have very fond memories of this film. I understand it did quite well at the box office.
It did very well internationally, which helped it a lot. It did pretty well domestically, too.
I was actually surprised at how much I liked it. I have read forever online about how gritty and depressing Zack Snyder's movies are. And while this definitely was pretty somber, I wasn't overwhelmed by it.
Right, okay, so he is not a Superman fan. That was in my opinion, one of the biggest things that hurt Man of Steel. And you can just go back to the Rotten Tomatoes reviews and see this. Everybody that was dogging on that movie would mention Christopher Reeve. There's no need to mention Christopher Reeve when you're watching Zack Snyder's Superman. There's no reason. They're different things. He even said before he started, this isn't your granddaddy Superman. And the same thing could be said about James Gunn's Superman. There's no reason to mention Christopher Reeve or Man of Steel or Brandon Routh's Superman when you're actually looking at and judging James Gunn's Superman. Look at these things for what they are. I didn't enjoy Smallville for the first run through. The first 3 seasons I liked, but after that I didn't like it because I was so hung up on how that things went in the comics and all that, and it made me angry all the time. It took me years to be able to watch that show and be able to enjoy it because I looked at it for what it was. Sorry, rant over.
For sure, this movie is darker than the 2025 version, both narratively and visually.
Yep.
While James Gunn's vision of the character is this bright, colorful comic book come to life, the Snyder take felt more like a Shakespearean epic of sorts. Even though it's a 12-year-old movie, I was still awed by a ton of the set pieces and visuals. It's weird. Snyder's version felt like it was designed to be this timeless drama, while Gunn's is more like a lighthearted movie that you watch with friends.
I think that's right. I think that Gunn's movie is a nice, lighthearted movie. I generally had fun coming out of Gunn's movie. I can't say that about Man of Steel. I didn't come out thinking I generally had fun. I just came out thinking, whoa. You know what I mean? Like, it's a totally different experience.
Man of Steel is very much a mythic story. Its opening sequence on Krypton unfolds like a cosmic legend. I honestly knew nothing about this alien planet stuff. I confess I was...
The imagery in that movie, though. Look at this.
Knew nothing about this alien planet.
You know what I'm talking about, okay? You know what I'm talking about. He was direct about it, too.
Stuff. I confess I was a little lost for the first 20 minutes or so as to who was who and why they were doing what they were doing.
Oh,
I was
interesting.
not expecting Superman's homeworld to just be Half-Life's Zen level. I don't know if that's actually true to comic book lore or just like a creative decision by Snyder, but it felt way out of left field. Russell Crowe is very Russell Crowe.
I didn't feel that way as a big Superman fan. As a matter of fact, a lot of people, the opening sequence is what made them love Man of Steel, especially my sci-fi friends that didn't really care about Superman.
I was surprised that he played such a major role in this movie, especially compared to the pop-in, pop-out appearance of in the new flick. Spoiler alert, I guess. The dude who played Zod is good. Is it Zod? Yeah, it's Zod. He was good. I was a little confused about what powers the Kryptons have.
Michael Shannon was awesome as Zod. I really want to hear what he's saying here about the confusion of powers as a non-Superman fan.
Kryptonians? I don't know. I guess they're like all like Superman with the strength and the eye beams. We're
Yeah.
never given a clear picture of how this society works on like a street level. I guess the planet becomes doomed by like global warming or something, and Captain Zod tries to save the planet by...
Did he just say Captain Zod?
Overthrowing a city council meeting and stealing census data. I really didn't understand it, sorry. By the time he actually attempts...
Not census data. It's the genetics of their entire, like, history. You know, that skull that he gets looks like hominid. You know what I mean? Like, it's... That wasn't that hard to follow for me, actually.
That coup, the planet is literally in the process of exploding. I'm not sure what he was hoping to accomplish there. I guess I've been confusing Superman and Goku all these years because I thought that Superman flew to Earth in that little round baby capsule. I was not expecting this huge halo-looking contraption. Regardless, they shoot the baby.
It's just a different take. In Christopher Reeve's movie, it was a big spiky ball, you know, which you can find them in the glasswork at Home Depot. That's not what it's supposed to be, but that's what it is.
Out to the stars, Superman's space dad dies because Hamlet, and we wind the clock forward 33 years later to planet Earth to start the story proper. Superman, aka Clark Kent, aka Henry Cavill, is working on a fishing
AKA
boat.
Joe.
This whole first Earth part kind of threw me because I thought Superman's shtick was that he pretended to be this geeky weakling everyman to hide his real identity.
Yes, that is his shtick, and I love it very much. And that was one of my problems with Man of Steel, was that we took Clark Kent, which makes tons of sense, and just threw him out the window. We totally got rid of Clark Kent, and he was there at the end with his glasses, but he sounded, looked, and acted exactly like Superman, which makes zero sense.
But instead, we get a bunch of these scenes where Henry Cavill is just walking around like a huge macho man. He is clearly the biggest dude and the strongest dude in every room that he walks into, but he's purposely holding himself back. The theme of hiding one's true self.
Yeah, people made fun of that a lot when it came out. They were like, why is he so sad? They did. They made fun of it a lot. I didn't really agree, but I kind of got where they were coming from, why they would feel that way, but it didn't bother me because, you know, he has a good heart. That's why he's this way. He's got a good heart. He's like, I could, but I won't.
Is heavily hammered home by Clark's human father, Kevin Costner, who repeatedly warns Clark to conceal his powers until humanity is ready to learn the truth about life beyond.
Yeah, I wasn't super happy with how they did Jonathan Kent in this one. He was less concerned about the safety of people than he was about his son's secret, which I don't see how that kind of upbringing could have raised Clark to make his secret less important than saving people, which usually in the comics it is. His secret is less important than saving people. He will take risks on his secret if, you know, he can save people. So that was kind of whacked out. I talked to Jonathan Snyder too personally about this scene. He didn't like it at all. He was very clear. He did not like it.
On the solar system. So in street clothes, Superman quietly saves different people from various catastrophic scenarios until he crosses paths via plot convenience.
It is interesting that he says that he saves various people, blah, 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 because most of us feel like in Man of Steel, we don't really get to see him saving people. Which is funny because he does go around saving people. I think it's because when he becomes Superman, he's not becoming Superman to go around and save people. That's not why he's doing it. He's becoming Superman because he's been called out by Zod. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit different, and I think that really bothered people that he didn't just, like, say, I'm going to go out there and be Superman for the sake of saving people. He was like, I guess it is saving people because, you know, he was going to kill people. So I don't know, but it just rubbed people the wrong way.
With Lois Lane, played by Amy Adams, who is investigating a mysterious alien object underwater. The movie then tries to do this simultaneous storytelling thing, bouncing between Lois Lane's investigation and Superman's childhood flashbacks. This felt like the weakest part of the movie for me. The constant hopping back and forth gets a bit repetitive.
My brother is a pretty, he's not a professional movie critic, but he critiques movies all the time. That was one of the things he told me in the very beginning, was how he didn't like that he was hopping back and forth and felt like that was very much a James Gunn thing that was done, you know?
And kind of annoying.
Not James Gunn.
Like, okay, he got picked on growing up, and he's got to just take it because the world's not ready for a Superman yet. I get it. But it's like 4 different times they do essentially the same sequence. Each time is interspersed with these long, drawn-out monologues that, I'm sorry, I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, they are just way too theatric and preachy for me. None of the characters...
I never felt that way. Not at all.
Felt like they had actual personalities or
I have felt that way, yes.
Motivations. They just felt like they were proxies for the writer's philosophical musings. There's a ton of...
I don't like when acting is just a constant seriousness. That's what happens to like every CW show. You start off where they have like these personalities and they're bright and happy, and then eventually it gets to the point where people are talking like this. Oh, really? That situation's happening? Yes, it is, and it's very serious. Okay, well, I think we should take care of it together. All right, let's take care of it together. You know what I mean? And that's how the acting just ends up being on all these CW shows. And they remember that, and they'll have an episode where they sit down for Thanksgiving or something, you know, and they're all happy. And but for the most part, yeah, they all get into that, and this movie was that way very much.
Standing around, looking off into the distance, and giving these unnaturally, overly poetic Shakespearean soliloquies about destiny and sacrifice, with dramatic orchestral music and slow-motion epic cinematics. It's not bad.
I don't think it had that much slow motion. I can think of one scene when he throws the van at the helicopter.
Like, it's not...
Was that even slow motion? I don't know.
Unwatchable. It's very pretty. It's beautiful to look at. I just wish the movie would stop telling...
Not realistic looking for the most part. Some scenes are, but it's beautiful. It is a beautiful looking movie, but it's not... I wouldn't call it realistic. People are saying the graphics on Man of Steel are better than... No, the graphics in James Gunn's movie look a lot sharper and more realistic. Zack Snyder's is more beautiful.
Me how important it is. Like, it kind of beats you over the head at some points. Also, all respect to him.
Did you like the Messiah references like that? I like them. I like them a lot. Superman was written by 2 Jewish guys. You know what I mean? They were writing about their own Messiah, basically. Like, it's not that hard to look at and figure out if you know anything about Jewish history. But, I mean, I like the Messiahs. I like being beat over the head with that personally.
Henry Cavill and Amy Adams, 2 excellent actors.
Yes.
I did not buy their relationship at all.
Nope.
Wait, they're in love already? They don't even know each other.
Right.
The romance felt very rushed. Like, when
he would have been done good to do the James Gunn thing and just be like, okay, they're already in love. Then you would have been like, oh, okay, I get it. So there's history there already. This was just like, wait, why are you falling in love?
When they kissed, it was like so jarring. I felt like it needed way more build up. It's weird that Snyder's movie is longer than James Gunn's, but it feels like way less happens in it. There's a lot of standing around and talking and just sort of waiting for the action.
Which is funny because James Gunn has like a 12-minute talking scene near the beginning of the movie, and that was kind of like a risky thing to do. It was a little boring, but it had a lot of information you needed to know.
To start, at points. Understandably, there are a lot of 2010-isms. The lens flares, the gritty film grain, the shaky cam zoom punches. It was kind of fun to see those things again, actually. I am sure that this movie paired very well with the Star Treks and the Transformers pictures of the time. After the action finally kicks off, things pick up quite a bit. There's a fight scene that takes place in this small town that was really well done. It's got a bit of that rubbery CGI stuff here and there, but
I've complained about the CGI in the Smallville scene a lot. By the way, if you guys want to see the full video or subscribe to this guy's channel, go ahead and check the link in the description. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, just click the button.
Wasn't too distracting. Once the fighting moves to the big city, it then sort of devolves into that now cliche city destruction fest. There are a ton of buildings blowing up, that machine that's constantly lifting bodies up and slamming them down to
the world engine.
The ground again. It's a little much. I will say that there is this one sequence where Superman and Zod are chasing each other around a bunch of skyscrapers.
Not realistic looking, but beautiful.
I really enjoyed that. That was cool. Compared to Superman 2025's more ground level sequences, Man of Steel felt a bit...
You can just see how much sharper that is by looking at that. I mean, I may have distorted this video for copyright reasons, but you can see how much sharper that is.
Artificial. For sure, I think that the latest movie's fight sequences are better. Like, they're more entertaining to watch, and I think in that respect, better executed, but also maybe that's by design. I don't think that Man of Steel is trying to be a flashy action movie. I think it's trying to be almost an art house movie, way more concerned with exploring complex themes by taking the most well-known comic book character there is and wrapping him in this mythic religious iconography. In that sense, Man of Steel functions more as a deconstruction of the Superman character, taking him apart piece by piece and critiquing what the character is and whether he's even still needed in the world of 2013, where audiences wanted heroes that felt grounded, morally conflicted, even haunted.
That right there is exactly why Man of Steel is the way it is. I can't remember his name. One of the writers of Man of Steel, David S. Goyer, I think, he said in an interview recently, everybody was wanting that from him back then. Everybody was like, we want what you did with Batman. And so that's what was happening. It was a theme. It was a trend. You know what I mean?
In order to be taken seriously. Superman 2025, on the other hand, is a reconstruction of the character.
Yeah.
It says, forget all that, just let him be what he is. A bright, over-the-top, unapologetically cheesy superhero who believes in doing good just because it's good and embraces radical optimism. I am almost certain that there is some YouTube video essayist out there that has released some 7-hour documentary explaining this whole thing way better. I'm just giving you my immediate thoughts off the top of my dome.
I like the top of the dome thoughts. He's really kind of nailing it. I mean, he's obviously more of a movie connoisseur than I am, but I am a much bigger Superman connoisseur. Is connoisseur the right word? Is that only talking about food? I don't know. But the point is, he really is nailing it. Like, he's getting it, figuring out. I really want to know if he thinks that Man of Steel is better than Superman 2025. I'm very curious.
They are just two very different kinds of stories and interpretations that trying to debate which of the two is better, it's kind of pointless. Like, they are
That's
both
what the video's
great,
about.
but each for entirely different reasons. Snyder's version is like, okay, what if Superman was a tragedy with epic cinematography told on a massive scale? Gunn's version is, what if Superman was a fun comic book thrill ride that's more interested in putting a smile on your face?
Right.
Both of these are perfectly acceptable kinds of movies. Let's have a little bit of nuance here. One does not delegitimize the other. And
Yeah, that's true. And that's one thing a lot of the fandom is split on. And it was the same way with Christopher Reeve and everything else. People think that because one is good, it means that the other one now is not respected. And that's just not how it is. Don't watch the movie and be like, oh, this is trash just because, Man of Steel is trash. So many of you have said that. Superman 2040 is trash. I've heard that a bunch. I've also heard rubbish from my UK friends. But you got to be able to look at it for what it is. Again, I ruined Smallville, the last 7 seasons of it, whenever it was on TV. and I went back and watched it many times, and I found that I actually like it a lot. I was just too hung up on my own personal version of what Superman should be always. And you got to let that go, because the person writing it is doing their personal version.
Can like both. I feel like there will be times, in retrospect, where Man of Steel feels like the superior film. And there will also be times where Superman 2025 does.
Yeah.
Sorry to everybody, but I can't pick a winner.
No apology necessary. This is like absolutely the correct answer when it comes to whether or not Superman or Man of Steel is the better movie. This guy is nailing it. If you want to subscribe to this guy's channel, again, the link's in the description, because he's obviously got a very level head, though he has no feelings for Superman whatsoever, so that's probably helping to be unbiased.
No winner. I liked them both for different reasons, because they're both doing two different things. Whether you like the new ones or you like the old ones, they aren't going away. I know there's folks that are upset that the Snyderverse was canceled, but I don't know, there's plenty of Snyderverse movies. Those all got made. Those are still out there. You can enjoy those. And
I will say, Zack Snyder Justice League's when it was getting really good. That's why we're upset about that. I'm not a Snyder bro or a Snyder fan even, but I did like, I wanted to see more of the Snyderverse, even though I didn't like the way Superman was handled.
You didn't enjoy them? Well, now they're trying something new. That's what it is, right? Superman is almost 100 years old. There's plenty of material to go around for whatever flavor
he's almost 90. He'll get there.
You like. And you know what? In less than 10 years, the character goes public domain, so you will be able to make your own versions to suit your own preferences.
We will see about that. Mickey Mouse, I know that the Steamboat Willie got put on public domain, but the reason that the copyright law is as long as it is because of Mickey Mouse. They keep fighting for the rights and making the copyright laws go longer and longer. So if they keep doing that with Mickey Mouse, then Superman will be in the same boat. It is interesting to me, though, that, I won't get into all that.
On that note, if you are a fan of superhero movies, I have produced 2 of my own. They will be coming out soon.
Nice! We might check those out, guys.
In a few months, but you can check out
normally I just do
various
Superman
videos on my channel
without talking over him. Normally I just do Superman stuff, but that's pretty cool. I appreciate that.
Or links in this.
I also think, how could a guy that just now watched Man of Steel be qualified to create superhero movies? Is that cool, though?
This video's description for more information. Do you have stories or creative ideas of your own? If you do, then why not give them an online home? You can do so with this video's sponsor, Squarespace.
Oh,
Honestly,
nice
show
transition.
Squarespace some love. They've been helping me hold this channel down for quite a while now. They have everything you need to build an online presence thanks to their all-new design.
Should I use Squarespace, guys?
Giving you access to easy-to-use tools so that you can build a site that feels
trying to see if we're about done with this,
no
right now we're just going through an ad.
Whether you want to show
I like the way this guy thinks. I think that because he doesn't have a preconceived notion of what Superman is the reason why he's able to think so level-headed about this, because he really does. He thinks so level-headed about it. Like he's just basically like, listen, guys, they're both good movies. The reason that you don't like them is because you have a preconceived notion of what Superman movies should be. And that's what hurt Man of Steel. That's what maybe is hurting Superman 2025. Is doing very well, but it's what hurt Superman Returns. Guys, we just gotta open our hearts to what the guys are doing and be like, okay, what are you doing? I'll watch it and see, and based on what you've done, grade it on that. Anyways, guys, I got more reaction videos. Check out this one right here.